Hello, everybody, and welcome to Law Dog Sports, the weekend big show. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you, streaming live on Facebook, along with my partner, Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, who's smarting a little bit today, but we'll get into that later. You can follow us on all of our social media at Instagram, Twitter X, and YouTube, Facebook at Law Dog Sports. Hot weekend we've got in store, and coming out of all the weather and rain, it's, I can't say I don't welcome it, but along with really high moisture content comes a lot of insects, flying bugs. So I got bit 3 times last night just outside trying to walk the dog. Jeremy, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I got bit last night sitting at work.
Yeah, it's a plague. I mean, they're just really asserting themselves. They got their they had their environment enhanced by all the storms that we've had, and out in Western Oklahoma. I was telling my wife this when I lived in Eastern Oklahoma, there's more woods, and more water also. And anyways, but the bugs have really come to play so far. But you know who didn't come to play last night? That was the Oklahoma City Thunder, who dropped the closeout Game 6, 108-91 in Indianapolis. And it
was not that close.
It was not that close. But we'll kind of get into that. Also, if you're a fan of our content, and particularly if you're in Western Oklahoma or even the Oklahoma City metro area, be sure and check out our pages. Like I said, YouTube, you can go back and watch any video on YouTube, or also here on our podcast page on Spotify at Law Dog Sports. I visited earlier in the week with Rhonda Smickless, and she joined us last year. That June 27th, they are having the Officials versus Cancer Golf Scramble at Prairie West Golf Course in Weatherford, and it's a great time, a lot of great prizes, a lot of great raffles and chances to win stuff. But it all goes to a great cause, the Oklahoma Children's Health Foundation and Jimmy Everest Cancer Center. And we talk a lot of sports, Jeremy, and we get disgruntled and talking about, our teams and their successes and their failures. But, it all comes back to reality when you know someone who's dealing, particularly children. But anyways, check out our Facebook page. I've shared links to it. And if you can, and if you feel like doing it, get out and play some golf for a good cause. June 27th, and all the information is on a flyer on our Facebook page as well as our Twitter page. And we'll also, you can go check out our visit with Rhonda Smickless, who's kind of the head honcho of getting that going in Western Oklahoma. But we are streaming live here on Facebook. I'll get to everything that's going on. But bigger than everything, there was a Stanley Cup champion crown this week, Jeremy.
Yeah, and it wasn't a Canadian team. So USA.
Hasn't been a Canadian team since you and I were in our 20s.
Yeah, that's a shame. So the Florida Panthers are a dynasty. That's 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals appearances, 2 straight wins.
Who'd they lose to 3 years ago?
I have no idea, Chuck. I don't watch hockey.
I mean, I try to keep up with the Oilers because
you think that it'd be right up my alley because it's a bunch of angry white dudes with sticks on skates, but I just don't care about it.
Man, it's hilarious. There's probably 3 different hockey roles, and you can spot them. I mean, you talk about, stereotyping or profiling. I can spot a hockey enforcer at 2 miles away. I mean, they stick out, and then the prima donna goal scorers, they're also
they lost to Vegas. Where were you for that one, Busso?
Scripted league.
Yep.
So we've got a couple of viewers, but be sure and give us your comment, and we will read them on the air. And we appreciate the the new platform we have with StreamYard, where we're able to throw your comment up on the screen for all to see, and not just us reading it. So 108-91 is the final last night in Game 6. Indianapolis was rocking at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The Pacers came to play. Their fans came to fan. And the Thunder just, man, they started out, an 8-0 lead or
10-2.
10-2, and then
that was the high point of the game.
Pacers weren't shooting well. But you
Telling
know what?
you, Rick Carlisle has devil magic on his side when he calls that first time out of the game. Because right after that, they went on like a 20-4 run.
Yeah, they came out and definitely got their bearings back under them.
He kind of looks like Aleister Crowley.
Oh, yeah, when he shaved his head bald, he could be residing at the Hotel
Mr.
California.
Crowley.
Or was it Anton LaVey?
Yeah. And you wonder what I'm doing over here. I accidentally put it on the Home Shopping Network and am absolutely mesmerized by these two women using a juicer. I got to change this.
Is it a juice tiger, Charlie?
That's what I was thinking of. It's a juice tiger.
But yeah, it's I figure I'll escort myself to the retirement home when I contact QVC. When I make contact with them, that's when it's time to go. But no, you're exactly right. Thing is, it was 3-point lead after the first quarter.
Personally, there was optimism yesterday. Like, well, Halliburton's not hurt. Don't pull that crap on me.
Yeah.
Come on. So, it's like optimistic. Yeah, they're probably going to close it out tonight. They've got all the momentum on their side. They've won 2 straight. They've looked pretty good in one of those games. And they come out last night, and SGA showed that he's still 26 years old, throwing the ball to everybody, 8 turnovers in the first half. Didn't shoot the ball all that well. He still had 21 points, but nobody else besides J-Dub did anything.
That's what I told my wife. I said, J-Dub's the only one that looks like he came to play tonight.
The role players shrunk in the spotlight.
Boy,
they're going to lose Sunday. They're not going to win this. It's over. I don't have any confidence because Indiana is that team. They're those little shits that just get around your knees and won't leave you alone until you do something stupid, and they go on a 10-0 run.
I thought about this too, and here's the thing. I mean,
and I am being very negative this morning.
You are. That Thunder team. I'm going to say this. This was a true question that popped in my head last night.
Talk me off the ledge, Chuck.
Huh?
Talk me off the ledge.
Yeah, I think it's those yellow giveaway T-shirts in the background just messes with their depth perception, shooting the 3. No.
You mean like the OU Villanova game down there in Jerry's World where no one could see the hoop and they were just throwing it blindly at it?
Exactly. No, but seriously, that team is going to I thought about this and I was where you I once was where you are now.
Talk me off the ledge.
In life, there's no.
Here's
the thing.
We NPR.
They came out and I hate to give the guy credit. I give him a little razzing on Twitter, but Travis Davidson mentioned it. They came out with a game in pocket to come home and close it out. And
human nature.
Like yeah, I mean it's a thing. And here's the thing. That team, I mean, a team on the brink of elimination, a chance to get closed out on their home floor. That's a way better team than is going to let that happen. And they had not given up. They saw that they could make runs and come back on the Thunder.
See, I get and I get that. And I guess my problem is we grew up watching absolute killers and murderers playing in the NBA. Didn't matter if it was, we got a game in pocket. They were coming for your head. Do you think Jordan ever went to a game 7?
No, but I can remember times in the 80s, Jeremy, where I would get false hope that the Bucks were actually going to upset, the Celtics because
those the big dog Glenn Robinson Bucks.
That was Sidney Moncrief.
And
Terry Cummings.
The short shorts.
Yeah. I can remember thinking, man, the Bucks and they would hold home serve, I can remember, thinking, all right, now they're going to game 6 or game 7 back at the Garden. They got a chance. And no, they didn't. So,
Well, see, and the and it's going to be so busy this weekend because of that game, and it pisses me off. I'm over it. I haven't gotten off work before 11 o'clock one time this week,
yeah.
and I'm worn out. I was there till at midnight last night. Get home. Yeah, I get to sleep by 1 o'clock. Get up at 7. That's healthy. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm worn out.
Buso, good morning to you. And appreciate you checking in. Cam Hall checking in. There are no killers in the NBA anymore. All about ratings. I was hoping I would see something different. He's not wrong.
Yeah, and Cameron, God love him. Good buddy. Good. I love talking NBA with Cam. He is the most negative person as far as OKC goes.
Hello,
yeah,
pot.
yeah.
Hello, pot. This is Kettle.
And I'm usually the one talking him off the ledge.
Yeah,
but yesterday he texted me they're going to close it out tonight, and I'm like, yeah.
That was the problem.
That was the problem. Cameron got positive, and then I had to be negative.
I mean, they did what they needed to do in game 4, and you had, as the number 1 seed, you had to go back and reestablish home court. You're coming home. The fans will be insane. But I will say this.
Can somebody break TJ McConnell's or just sprain his ankles so he can't get in the paint? And
I don't understand how that guy is able to do what he does against what I would assume are considered top.
He's like chasing a toddler around,
Yeah.
They're going to get to what you don't want them to get to, and you just have to hope that they miss.
As much as anything, he comes in and gives you 12 points off the bench. That's big. If our bench, if the Thunder bench, does what they're supposed to do, but the 4 steals is what blinds me, and the fact that he knows their passing lanes in those 2 games they lost in Indianapolis. He knew their passing lanes before they did.
Yeah,
and it's boneheaded turnovers. It was the Caruso inbounds directly to him. It's the J-Dub outlet directly to him. It's like, what are you not seeing it? Does his yellow jersey and all those yellow T-shirts in the background just make him blend in?
I don't know. Is he related to John Cena? They just don't see it. I don't know. But the fact that they didn't have a single steal in the first half last night, I never thought I would see the day with that defense.
Last night, I refused to watch any of the post game, but last night, the one thing that Legler pointed out in the 3 minutes I watched, one of the steals, SGA made no effort. He was kind of pulling a LeBron defense. He wasn't there last night. He wasn't himself, and I don't know if that was frustration because I mean, here's the thing, Jeremy.
Looking for my tinfoil hat because we're about to get deep in the weeds.
Well, it's not conspiracy minded. It's just a change of the tide. They allow hand checking is back, and the Thunder have benefited from it, and the Pacers have benefited from it. And if you don't think that, and that's what kills me about these idiotic national guys like the Grinder Monkey in L.A. Everybody flops. Memhart is a humongous flopper.
Oh, his GOAT is the biggest flopper I've ever seen.
He's the biggest flopper of all time. But good defenders try to sell the foul, the offensive foul, and they flop. And then if they don't get it, and there's a pecking order in the NBA, there always has been, but I'll say this: when you go out, like you said, and I looked at the stats after the first quarter. I'm like, wow, J-Dub's kind of doing his thing. SGA's getting what he can, even halfway through the first half or second quarter. I was like, there's just nobody else that's come to play tonight.
I'm sorry. And Hartenstein came to play.
He did. He's limited. And here's my thinking on that. And bear with me. He's a great rebounder. He sets great picks, great screens. They've mentioned that ad nauseum. So much to the point that I think they're trying to insinuate they're illegal picks. But And I'll get on the broadcast team here in a little bit. But the thing about it is, Jeremy, is I don't know when they've tried to go small. I mean, you've got a 6'10" kid over there on the bench that has not played much this series.
Usman Jang?
No.
Oh.
Jay Will.
Oh, Jay. He's not 6'10".
What is he?
He is. Hang on. Let me.
So if you tell me he's 6'8", 6'9", then that matches up
He's
even
6'9".
better. You know, what has been their problem dealing with Pascal Siakam?
I don't know. They need to put him on the free throw line.
He's too swift-footed for iHeart, and he's too tall for J-Dub.
He's too
big.
He's too trunky for Chet.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if they don't close out on Sunday, they'll look at a lot of things. There'll be a lot of soul searching. But I will say this: it's stunning that when they're clicking, and really even in their losses, they've found spaces where they click. The Pacers have a lot of offense coming off the bench.
They do.
And the Thunder do at times at home.
That's been the problem in this. Well, that was the problem last night. By the time Daignault figures out who coming off the bench has a hot hand last night, it was over. Well, Joe came in and hit some shots, but it's over by that point.
You got nothing from Caruso last night. And if he's not playing well, that's a true barometer of the bench.
Yeah.
Anyway, 42% shooting, 31 of 74. I would imagine, I don't have the splits, but they were 27% from 3, 8 of 30, and I'm pretty certain 6 of those were hit in the fourth quarter after the white flag was waved.
Yeah, Isaiah Joe was 2 of 3. Jay Will was 2 of 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would love to see some Jay Will minutes early. I'm a big fan of the bench bigs getting in.
I mean, what's it going to hurt? He has fouls to give.
I know that's my biggest thing. Anything he gives you on the other end of the floor is just icing on the cake. But if he goes in there and hacks Siakam a few times and makes him go 1 or 2 from the line,
here's another thing.
It's a win.
3-point threat.
Yeah.
I mean, he will make a 3-pointer. He did last night. You're not getting. I mean, iHeart's little push shots kind of toast. I mean,
he had 10 points last night. He only missed 1 shot.
That was a big one.
How was it at the okay? Well, there were no big shots missed in the first half when they're down by 30.
11-4 in favor, but 16 steals by the Pacers. Therein lies your game, and particularly the fact that probably most of those occur in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter.
Well, if they don't come out Sunday and set the tone defensively, why did the NBA want them to go to 7 games? The viewership is down. Sorry, Busso asked, did the NBA want them to go 7? Yes, they wanted to go 7 games. Viewership is down. Extra games means extra eyes on screen, means more money. That's why we got Luka Doncic traded to the Lakers to increase the value of that franchise, to increase the value of the 2 expansion franchises we're probably going to get this offseason. I think we're going to get the Sonics back.
One good thing, though?
What?
They didn't hit the over.
That's insane.
If you bet the under, because I'm looking at it right, the over under was 222, and so last by my math, they were just at 200. Right.
What did Corey say? Always take the over.
Yeah, Corey Hogue used to tell us never take the under.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna see if I can send him an invite real quick.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, Miss Corey. Did we know the news about him being let go from Dave Campbell's when we went to air last week?
We did not. I texted you as soon as I saw it. Sorry, I gotta plug the old computer into the charger here. Just realized that my rain sounds last night drained my battery.
Interesting last night or yesterday, the administration, the all-knowing administration at Will Rogers World Airport asked folks not to come out to the airport and greet the team. I don't know if that was anticipation of them winning it on the road and closing it out. and not wanting a big celebration out there or what, but they would interfere. They said it would interfere with the morning travelers. Well,
yes.
Last time they came back from Indy, weren't they delayed?
They didn't get in until 3:30.
3:30. I mean, they probably got home last night about 1:32.
Yeah.
That's not going to interfere with anybody.
You say that, but all that extra traffic in that area is going to delay the people that need to be there to open things up to get those people through.
Yeah.
Boost will tell you, Cam will tell you, we all got a text message last night saying to allow yourself extra time to get to work.
Oh, so
because
they backed up, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I've been against it for years, and then I finally relent and say, it's not that bad a deal. And then what do? They try to shut it down. So that's
just last night. Just last night. Hey, they're going to have the parade around AAR if they win Sunday. just for you, the Chuck Ramsey Memorial Parade.
And they're going to have 10 people per podium or per post standing on top there.
That's right.
They're going to call and snap their neck.
Call out retirees into active service to come out.
Do you believe that the Thunder weighed in too much on the Halliburton injury, or because I put out a tweet last night? I think he still is hampered, but I think his hampered is probably most players,
They played. Okay, I'm just going off of Bobby Marks because I happened to catch a little Sports Center this morning.
Yeah.
Nembhard brought the ball up more. Hallie played off the ball. So, he wasn't the focal point he wasn't the distributor last night.
No.
So he was able to get to spots, not have to handle, not waste all that energy bringing the ball up the court. So it probably afforded him a little bit of, he could just hang around the 3-point line.
Really and Obi Toppin is a big problem. I mean, and then Nembhard. I mean, here's the thing. The Pacers, they're not going to have somebody come out and gouge you for 35. And then, a couple, I mean, it's everybody around 12 to 17.
Yeah, they're balanced.
And Miles Turner, to me, they've done a good job making him a non-factor in this playoffs other than game one.
The insane thing is if you look at this series and you look at the Denver series, they're basically the same series.
Oh, yeah. And I said that yesterday.
All these people last night, tweeting out, well, if the Pacers would have just closed out game 4, this would be over. It's like, okay, well, we can play that game. If OKC closes out game 1, it's over anyways.
Exactly.
And Jaren Jackson, he's ill. He may not play. Then he comes out and was it Jackson?
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. Sorry.
Jamal Murray.
He comes out and
that was kind of the narrative yesterday on social media before the game was, Jamal Murray was questionable also, and comes out and gives you 27.
Yeah.
Halliburton didn't do that, but if he is banged up, he gave you 14 points on 5 of 12 shooting and 3 of 7 from 3. I tell you, and I put this out last night. I don't even know if you follow me or not, but
I do. I was busy, man.
I put this out. There was a play where he's way out beyond the arc and he's got the ball. And if he is hampered,
I'm running a trap at him.
Hampered, test him, get up in his grill, make him move the ball. But it was, I can't remember if it was Case and Wallace or who it was, but they lagged off of him. And what does he do? He drills a 3. And it's not, it was just in one of those snowball moments where they're starting to click. And I just thought, that reminded me so much of Thabo Sefolosha in 2012, game 2,
just
LeBron's hampered by hamstring. And what does he do? He gives him 5 foot of space and he drills a 3. And it's like, you're our prime defender. Why weren't you out there on him, making him move the ball?
I'm going one more on that. Anytime Hallie is handling the ball out beyond the arc and you assume that he's hampered, I'm running 2 guys at him.
Something.
Yeah. Make him work.
Yeah. The thing about this is, Jeremy, is we know that Oklahoma City has a big 3. Chet was terrible last night. I mean,
Yeah.
4 points, 2 of 9 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. What he only had, how many rebounds he have? 6 rebounds. But I mean, you knew it was going to be a bad night when he just blows the gimme alley-oop from my heart. I mean, it's just like, oh, you're not there. But I'll say this, on a game like that, it's easy to start looking at your team and just think, man, why don't we have a Memhart? Or why don't we have a Neesmith? Why don't we, I mean, because those are 2 true 3-and-D guys. You've got one.
You know what? We do get the opportunity for Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Game 7, Lou Dort.
Something. But I'll say this, and this is a point I meant to make when we were kind of going over SGA. Man, I know him and J-Dub are great, penetrators into the lane. I know that they both, can finish well. But, I mean, it's an offense, and their kickouts are just never it's never set up. I mean, they're crashing in on guys, but they can't find open guys. And that's even been in some of the wins.
Well, I watched a couple of highlights because that's what I had to do.
Sure.
And I saw Shea get all the way to the basket and then turn around and try to flip a pocket pass to someone behind him that went for a turnover. I saw him do it twice.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand what's he doing. I mean, I think it was Dort was just hanging out in the corner all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Throw it over there.
Yeah.
It's just, it seemed like they got up 10-2. Carlisle, rolled the bones, called a timeout. Indiana came out, made a run, and then OKC panicked. And then, you know what this ain't our night, guys? We are going home.
Yeah. I don't know, Jeremy. I don't think this is a team that's going to falter in a game 7 at home. I think that's kind of their realm. I mean,
I know.
I think past history tells me that they're going to focus this weekend. They're going to have their game plan. They're going to be motivated. But they've got to get back to that game 2 status, because really, game 2 is the one that I thought they really imposed their will.
They need to get that nasty back.
Yeah. And
get in passing lanes, hit guys, just, be physical, establish a physical game right off the bat. Get out there, no easy buckets, close out on threes, make Siakam's life difficult, put him on the free throw line. Don't care. He's not a great free throw shooter. Don't let him crash the boards on offense. It's just got to get back to what they were doing.
First take. I don't know if it's first take at night. They've got a night skyline behind them. LeBron critical of obsession with, quote, ring culture in the NBA.
He created it.
Trying to nitpick an individual because he was not able to win a team game. It's just so weird.
Well, okay. And here's our old man. And this is why, you should probably, this is why you appreciate your Spurs so much. And this is why you should probably start appreciating Oklahoma City. When we grew up, outside of the Lakers, because it's always been the Lakers, teams were built from the ground up and you rolled with it. I guess the Pistons got Dantley, who was a great scorer in Portland. Dennis Johnson was Utah. Sorry, Utah. Was it Dennis Johnson that was in Portland?
Dennis Johnson was a Sonic before he went to ball.
Okay, he was a really good scorer, but he played a different role with the Celtics.
Yeah,
but for the most part, those teams were built from the ground up, and they came together. They gelled. They stayed together for a long time. And they won championships. The ring culture was pretty much. I don't want to say created by LeBron, because we did have the Boston 3 party where they brought in Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett to play with Paul Pierce.
I'll go as far as to say, Jeremy, that ring culture was created by Jerry West with the LA Lakers. you get Kobe Bryant, and then you go out and you get Shaq.
Well,
I mean, that they won what they win they three-peated. I mean, so Kobe is, and I've had this argument or discussion with people. You could take game by game, season by season, and a lot of people have believed all along that Kobe is comparable to MJ.
Well, had Orlando not screwed around with their contract offer to Shaq,
Yeah.
offered, really lowballed him, and the Lakers offered him everything. And by the time
thing about Magic Johnson and Larry Bird is they were great players. They were part of a great team.
Well, if two guys hadn't burned down Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's house in Milwaukee, he would have never been a Laker.
Yeah. And I think even the pencil neck has profiled just all of the gimme trades the Lakers have gotten over the years.
But the ring culture, we look at it, especially guys our age, and I hope some of the young guys are starting to see it as well. It taints these things. We tolerated the Warriors winning a couple of titles before they got Kevin Durant, and then it's like, okay, these are Curry's teams. Durant's just along for the ride. It's not a respectable title. We don't really care about it. And then LeBron going to Miami. That was D-Wade's team. LeBron just wanted to get over the hump, so he went down there with him and Bosh, and they got 2.
Well,
and it's just super teams, I hope, are a thing of the past. I hope.
No, with the sale of the Lakers to what's his name, Mark Walter,
10 billion.
10
Holy
billion.
crap!
You know what cracked me up was all the people said, Dr. Buss left the franchise to his kids and they sold it. Yeah, he would have sold it for $10 billion too.
$67.5 million to buy that thing at what, 1978?
Yeah, 79. Yeah,
79, and they sold it for $10 billion.
Yeah, $10 billion.
It's a pretty good return on investment right there. I don't know what the math is, but I want to say that that's a pretty hefty percentage increase in value of the franchise.
Exactly. Old man Buss would have sold that in a heartbeat for $10 billion.
After what? Have you watched Jeff Pearlman's? Did you read his book, Winning Time?
No.
Okay. Well, that series on HBO Max, Winning Time, with the story about when Jerry Buss bought the Lakers and put that team together. It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if Jerry West was a complete psychopath like they portray him, but it's pretty cool. It's a pretty decent series.
I guess my original point is the ring culture. I could trace it back as far as the Kobe Shaq days, because you knew the league wanted them to get championships. You knew the league wanted them to get titles to LA. And they did.
Well, Shaq was there first.
Well, and then Shaq goes to Miami, and what do?
Well, yeah. But Shaq was a journeyman at that point. Because remember,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because then he went to Phoenix.
Oh, he went a lot of
Then he went to Cleveland. Boston. Then he went to Boston.
Yeah. But no, do you remember did you remember the stories after the 2005 NBA Finals that Miami won against
Dallas? That was against Dallas, yeah.
06 maybe. Supposedly, and I never saw a video of it, but supposedly after they get closed out by the Heat, Mark Cuban goes out on the court and faces down David Stern and is just cussing him out. Effing crooked league. And so he was livid, but he got his revenge in 2011. But no, back on ring culture, I'll just say this. If any one topic has spawned the belief in ring culture, it's got to be the constant knock on Dan Marino. And I know it's a different sport, but there's so many people who analyze the game that tell you that Dan Marino's probably the ultimate quarterback.
Dan Marino plays for those 49ers teams. He probably has 6 Super Bowls.
If he plays for the Cowboys or the Giants, any team that focused a little bit on defense, But he goes to one Super Bowl, they lose to the Niners, and then he never makes it back. But here's what I like about the NBA right now, Jeremy. We're seeing it with both of these teams, and I know you and I have been critical about the role players. The sad thing about Oklahoma City, if the role players don't show up, they get blown out. But we're back to, and even the Heat teams, they won those 2 titles with LeBron because of Ray Allen, because of Mike Miller, because of Udonis Haslem, Dwayne Wade, Bosh. But still, you have those super teams put together. It was quite a bit disingenuous. The Warriors were a self-made team until they went and stole Durant, and that probably put the foul taste in everybody's mouth for good.
Yeah, and that's Durant's still looked at as just a ring chaser. Nobody respects those 2 championships. Those 2. He was Finals MVP
Finals MVP
twice.
both times.
Yeah, it's and everything he's touched since then has just turned to absolute doo-doo.
Yeah, but what's funny is I was listening to a show this week, and and that's the consensus on Kevin Durant at this time. But did you know that actually, and probably a lot of it has to do with being on bad teams, but his numbers are equitable to what they've ever been for the last 3 seasons. He's balled out for 3 seasons. It's just
48 games a year.
Yeah, well, I'll just say this: if I don't know where he would fit with the Spurs, but if they go get him, I'm not gonna be disenchanted. I mean, he does things. He's able to score at will still.
I think the Spurs have already taken themselves out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes.
I heard that at the beginning of the week, and then all of a sudden my Spurs Twitter pages are still throwing it out there. So I'm kind of the mindset of where there's smoke, there's fire. But
I don't know. He's right now. I mean, his stats are a lot of empty calories. They're not translating to wins. They've got a decent roster in Phoenix, and it hasn't worked.
I'm no big fan of Devin Booker. I don't know, other than the fact that he can gun a 3.
He's a one-trick pony. He scores the ball. He doesn't do anything else.
And you know who exposed him?
Who's that?
The Milwaukee Bucks. Because
Milwaukee.
Finals, I thought in that finals he was gonna show out, and he did not. Of course, I'm sure some statistician could show me where I'm wrong, but so anyways, Game 7 at 7:00 on Sunday night. It will be do or die. You heard Shea talking on the mic'd up. All the marbles, and then in the post game he came out and just said, we suck tonight. So people appreciating the honesty, but I'll say this, Jeremy. This is a great Thunder team. They should win at home in a Game 7. Anything can happen in this league. But, all of the talk before the series even began about, is this one of the greatest teams? I mean, their record puts them up there. But, I mean, they have, against these balanced teams,
they're flawed.
They have struggled. Now, if they close it out in 7, that is outstanding. And Indiana they've proven that, that, I mean, I guess I've heard it 20 times in this playoffs that these 2 teams have the best record since January 1st in the league. But that's what's funny is you look at the West, and the one team that gave the Thunder a blip was the Nuggets. They went 7. That was after the Nuggets went 7 with the Clippers. And all along, people were talking about, I don't think the Thunder want to face the Clippers. I don't think the Thunder want to face the Lakers. Well,
maybe they did.
Maybe, but I will say this. I mean, Daigneault has, being a guy who coached in the G League, he's got to bring out more confidence in his role players.
Yeah. And it's not at home. because those guys show out at the
Yeah.
Paycom Center.
And you
It's
said at the beginning of the series that benches don't travel, so I don't know.
let's hope that's the case. Let's
Yeah.
hope that let's
So
hope Aaron Wiggins saves basketball Sunday.
looking at Sunday so far, OKC is a 7.5-point favorite.
Oh, I saw 8.5, but it must have already moved.
So the Paycom Center will be rocking. I'll say this to Thunder fans: you better just walk out of there totally spent either way, win or lose.
They're going to bring it.
They better not stop either. But the thing about this Pacers team also is Carlisle has them going out, and whoever's handling the ball, whoever's setting up the play, seems to know each and every option that they have at their disposal.
It's almost like they're coached up.
It's almost like they're coached up. My fear with Dagnall is the fact that, and I don't know, is it 50-50 hero ball? Is part of it not having a true offensive game plan? Because I'll tell you this much, there's times that SGA does, go off the dribble and gets kind of stuck and really isn't clear where his outlet is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that is lack of confidence in if he fires that ball over there, is it going in, or does he think he's the better option to try to get that score than pass it to somebody who's just going to brick another three? They need a shooter.
They need more options offensively. And I'll say this, the defense has been praised and lauded heavily. But man, here's the thing. Mathurin had probably the best game of all the Pacers in this series. That 27 points in game 3.
Mm-hmm.
He's a non-factor other than, somebody has to get out on him.
Yep.
And that guy's a lottery pick.
Yeah, I know.
And that's
how long has he been in the league?
I think 4 years.
Okay.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
But anyways, the TJ McConnell thing, they've got the game plan to, and honestly, he hasn't done what he does. He's a home field guy. I'll say this. He hasn't blistered them other than in some mop up time in game 5.
Yeah, it was in the third quarter. Got him within 2. And then OKC went on like a 10-0 run, but you got him within 2.
What do you do after that? You got to do something. And the thing about it is his game and his finishing moves, if he's hitting, which he didn't shoot a 3 last night, his little fadeaway, little stupid, shot put shot, it's been a killer. So,
he's JJ Barea.
Yeah, he really is, isn't he? You nailed it. He is JJ Barea, except doesn't shoot as much outside. But I don't know.
Who's that big center from the Lakers that planted him?
Oh, was it the big Andrew,
no,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Big kid.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, as we mentioned, the Lakers get sold for $10 billion, and all of the
Andrew Bynum.
Andrew Bynum, that was he. Good job. He was a big. In a time when their bigs weren't that big, he was big.
Yeah, he was a big dude.
But anyways, so that'll be the slate for Sunday, and then the Lakers get sold for $10 billion, and Jeannie Buss stays on as governor. The pencil neck was just praising this yesterday, in the fact that this guy Mark Walter will spend and spend and spend. He can spend. He's on the hook for $10 billion. I understand people have a lot of money, but he's also on the hook for the Dodgers. What this means for basketball is I think I take each side of the coin and probably find the middle. And what I mean by that is the Laker fans believe now they're going to be able to go out and get anybody they want, no matter who it is, no matter what. And then the other side's, this is the death of basketball, blah, blah, blah. It's probably somewhere in between, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot. I I really think that Doncic trade that precipitated this move was a way to drive the value of that franchise up.
Sure.
I really do. And that, conspiracy minded, whatever. But if you look at that trade with the objective eye, you got an old Anthony Davis going to the Mavs. And what else did they get?
Max Christie.
Max Christie for a top 5 player in his prime for a guy who's not on the floor, getting up there in age. And I guess maybe a guarantee of you're going to get the number 1 pick.
Well, I mean, I don't think that was listed on the deal originally.
Well, a little wink, nudge, nudge.
The thing about it is everybody talked about the fleecing. The fleecing was in the lack of picks, which I'm sure the Lakers had none to offer.
Yeah, I think they have a 2029 pick, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they have a first-round pick this year.
Reeves probably should have been in on the deal. Something in exchange. I mean, that would have been the deal any other team in the league would have made, but the Mavs just kind of been over for it. But like you said, they obviously backdoor wink wink. You'll get the lottery pick.
Sure, ridiculous.
And who cares? I mean, Cooper Flagg could be the next great thing. He could be the next. Who's the big doofus from Gonzaga that looked like a big Jimmy Fallon?
Adam Morrison.
Adam Morrison,
the Night Stalker.
Yeah, not going to be that bad, but you know what I mean. Just kind of looking at some things, Jeremy, and the Travelers Open is this weekend. We didn't talk U.S. Open last week. Did we do a show on? We did a show on Monday, didn't we?
Nope.
Okay, so we haven't done a show since last week, right?
No, we have not.
Okay, so I thought I enjoyed the U.S. Open last week, particularly just because that course crushed souls, particularly Rory McIlroy. And so I posted the video of him launching his iron downfield.
And Clark destroyed a locker and got escorted from the building.
Yeah. and so then I get the response that Connor Carr says that's Chuck launching his at Foss. Which, by the way, if you're out of the area and don't realize, Foss Lake in Western Oklahoma does not have a golf course. So,
is Connor with us this morning?
I haven't seen him.
Okay.
Travelers Open today in River Highlands, Connecticut. Scotty Scheffler in the lead at 8 under, but tied with Austin Eckroat, the OSU golfer. I went to OCU with Austin's dad, Steve Eckroat. He was a golfer at OCU. But Austin would love to see an OSU kid get up there and be in the running at the Travelers. But next one up, Jeremy, I believe would be the Open.
Oh, yes. Well, you're going to have the Scottish Open. Some of these guys will play in just to get used to conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And then the British.
College World Series, man, I hate LSU. I hate seeing them win in anything, men's, women's sports, no matter what it is.
Gummy school.
They really are. What a way to crash and burn in a ninth inning when you're trying to
we haven't seen before from Arkansas. I'm sorry, Connor.
Well,
I don't know what black magic has been performed on the Arkansas baseball program, but you might want to get a live chicken.
I'm go full Serrano. I think, I mean, not to bag on they've got a national title in the last 35 years in basketball. I guess 2, really. Didn't they win 2 in the 90s?
I'm not sure if
No,
Connor.
they won 1, I think. But I think the hoopa jupe on that program was Lou Holtz probably making a deal with the devil to beat Switzer back in '76.
Yeah,
That
you're probably right.
What has that program pulled off since then, other than the Nolan Richardson title?
They gave up one of the most awesome what was that? North Texas, the fake fair catch,
Oh, yeah.
return for a touchdown.
You know who called that play, don't you?
Who?
You know who would have called that?
Seth Luttrell.
You dang right, pal. Greatest offensive coordinator of all time.
Oh my God.
USC killing it in recruiting, ranked on the On3's number 1, and picked up a defensive end. A kid named Waffle. Edge rusher, 4 or 5 star.
Is he going to be able to hang on to all these kids?
It's Link. I mean, you never know. I just
Arkansas won in 1994.
Okay, so that title with Scotty Thurman, I think, and who was the big bald guy, or shaved his head?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Corliss Williamson.
Corliss Williamson, yeah. But was Big O on that title team too?
I don't know.
Super Sky Point also. I'll just say this. Michael Busso says he's rooting for Coastal Carolina. When does that final series even start?
Thursday?
Well, this is Friday.
Okay, so probably it's got to start today.
I'm not seeing it anywhere on the schedule.
Let's see. Alex Dillard, Clint McDaniel, John Angskov, Corey Beck, Dwight Stewart, Davor rematch.
I think Clint McDaniel was a Booker T. Washington standout.
Scotty Thurman, Corliss Williamson, Darnell Robinson, no Big O.
No Big O, no Lee Mayberry.
Nope.
Well, that's sad. Let's see. College baseball. When do you get started?
NCAA baseball tomorrow. So tomorrow at 6.
I tell you, the NCAA baseball, selection committee and the people that run the College World Series, they must know that these fans, and these families for these programs must just have travel points stacked up from all the years that those kids played travel ball, because how else could you afford to stay for an entire tournament in Omaha?
I don't know.
I couldn't. I mean, I don't know.
Some of these people, maybe that's their one vacation a year, or they just have that disposable income.
I'd like to get on that ticket myself.
That would be really nice.
I mean, I golf at Romano's on Mondays, but that's when it's a cheap day. So,
well, I mean, you're spending a week in Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, wonderful Omaha. Is that considered the Three River, or isn't there a town in Iowa that's right across the river or something from them that's a dump?
Right across the Davenport, Iowa. Yes.
What's Tri-City? Is that up in Dakota?
I don't know. The airport in that area is the Tri-City Regional Airport, but I can't think of what other cities are right there in Iowa.
Well, I remember the OKC Cavs. They had a team on their schedule, Tri-City, or maybe it was Rapid City. I don't know.
Yeah, it was Rapid City.
Hey, recommended viewing. I watched a video on YouTube. I think it's called Incomparable, and it's about the Oklahoma City Myriad Arena and Convention Center. It was kind of interesting. Segment with John Brooks.
Oh, mini Christmas.
Yeah. After he got the boot, from OU football, which why I don't know.
I don't either.
But Must have been just a berry cleansing or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was Quad Cities are in Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. But anyways, Brooksy made a living a bit off of broadcasting OKC Blazers hockey. And really, he's to blame for the Humphreys family getting into sports radio. So, I love Brooksy, but I don't love that. But anyways, all right. So we'll start to make our way out of here. But Jeremy, man, enjoy your time off as you can. I know you'll have a big day Sunday, and then I'll be watching the game. I know you'll be trying to catch parts of it. But it's hopefully there's folks in yellow heading out Sunday night, Monday morning, all disenchanted about their lives in basketball in general.
Hopefully that is the goal.
You got a
We'll
prediction?
see. I do not have a prediction. I'm
gonna say Thunder by 12.
I don't have a feeling for the game at all.
I think this series has mirrored. I mean, if you think about it, Jeremy, this series has mirrored the Denver series almost to a T.
Well, then Thunder by 32.
Bring it.
Oh, I called Thunder in 6 last week. Well, all they had to do was show up.
All they had to do was
run a trap at Hallie.
Yeah. The thing about it is just like that Denver series, you leave Aaron Gordon open and he, puts you down 1-0.
Yep.
But that's the growing part of this team. And I think that's where you see it. But I expect a big Thunder comeback. I expect the fans to be nuts, and I expect them to bring home the Larry O'Brien. That's where I'm at. And I guess my question from earlier, and we will get out of here. You lose game 6, whether you lose it by 2, whether you lose it by 30, it's a loss. And
yep.
I thought it was a little early to wave the white flag at the beginning of the 4th, but I guess he knew, we don't.
They were down by 30 when the 4th started. You realize the scoring disparity you have to throw out there to come back from 30 points down in a quarter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, what's the? I mean, I think this team maybe has scored 45 in a quarter once.
I think the big thing I thought to myself was, why'd you come out so flat after halftime?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they got like 8 stops in a row out of half and couldn't do anything on the other end of the court.
Anyway, well, I'm gonna call it now. I'm gonna say that the Thunder, win it Sunday, and close it out in fashion and start the dynasty. Let's get it rolling.
They're replaying the poor kid falling down in left field from Arkansas. My heart aches for Connard.
Yeah, and then the best player on their team goes to the wrong force out and double play would have ended it, and they had the double play by a mile, what it looked like. But that's those Bayou Bengals, man. They stick around. They just stick in your craw.
It's a voodoo.
I hate them. I hate LSU more than I don't know. I hate Texas, but I really, really could learn to hate LSU even
Texas more. Texas is tolerable because for all their bluster, they don't do anything.
Yeah.
For the most part. LSU actually wins.
Yeah, they do.
And that's why I can't. It's like, God dang it. Why can't, just go out there and puke down your shirt. But
I'm rooting big for Coastal. I mean, that would be a great story.
That would be.
SGA is the Mahomes of the NBA, according to Michael Busso.
Well, they better win a damn title this year.
They better. All right, he's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways, and remember that if you're flying in and out of Oklahoma City, he will not let you linger at the Thunder boarding spot.
If they win Sunday night, you may see me shirtless zipping around the airport.
I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. We are Law Dog Sports, the Weekend Big Show. Be sure and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Law Dog Sports. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify. I found out this week we're also still on iHeartRadio. So if you're an iHeartRadio podcast subscriber, check us out, Law Dog Sports. And then also you can go to the website for all of the links lawdogsports.com. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And good luck to the Thunder on Sunday.